Wellington for the dream start.
Welcome to another episode. My name is Dean Vass. You can find me on X at #Kangas, Instagram #Kangaroos Podcast, and do not adjust your YouTube set. That is not Cooper Trumbath I am interviewing in the background there. It's actually Jesse. Jesse, welcome back to the season finale. 5.5 wins, finishing 16th. Little improvements this year and a good, strong finish the last couple of weeks. Gives some cause for optimism for 2026. We're pretty unlucky not to win the game, but we'll go to that in a minute, the game. Before we start there, a couple of bits of news and delistings today. Bryn Teakle, Callan Dawson, Miller Bergman, and Elvis has left the building, Eddie Ford. They have been told they will not get a new contract offer. Any surprises there, Jesse?
Oh, I don't think any of us are surprised with them. It's not to say we're happy with them. I think, I've been a big fan of Ford since day one. I've been very public on here saying that I'm a fan of Eddie Ford and what he can do. I would have loved to have seen us play him off a wing, play him down back, give him an opportunity in an AFL game in those positions, because I actually think he showed signs. He's one a little bit like Harvey for me, where I just don't see the reluctance in playing him. They obviously don't rate him. There's obviously something behind the scenes as well, I would say. So it's a real shame. I'm very hopeful that he gets picked up by another club, because I think he could add value at another club. So I'm really hopeful he gets picked up. Look, in terms of Bergman, someone made the point today, it completely writes off our that draft, because we took, Jason Horne-Francis, then we took Goda and Bergman, I want to say. And then we took Lazaro and Curtis. I think that was all the same draft.
Possibly, yeah.
I think at least Bergman and Goda were in the same draft. I think.
Yeah.
I think Lazaro was in the Will Phillips draft, which is also going to be completely written off. But other than Powell, so we've got Powell from that one draft, and then we've got Curtis left from the next draft. It's good. It's good, isn't it?
We've got Paul Curtis out of it also.
Yeah, wow.
It's better than nothing.
Oh, absolutely it is. Look, I'm not surprised. It's a bit of a shame, obviously, for Ford. Bergman, just it never happened for him, really. He was a decently high pick as well, so it's a real shame. I'm tempted to go see who we could have taken, but maybe I don't want to do that to myself, but I probably will, just for the sake of it. I think that I think Cal Dawson makes sense. It's a shame because we could have taken Massimo, which I think would have been a much better, obviously a much better pick. It does highlight that we need to strengthen up that back line, because there's there's a bit of lacking depth. So look, no real surprises.
No, I mean, I guess the only one that was surprising, and I spoke to you about this off air, and that's probably Darcy Tucker still on the list. You seem a bit nervous about that. I'm a bit nervous about that because I thought he would have been first named. Nothing against him personally, but I just don't see the upside of keeping a 29-year-old who's been out for the second half of the year, and we're seeing the best of him. It's not a high ceiling. There's no more to go. I would have thought he would have been right up there. So, that's probably the only surprise. I would have had him ahead of Eddie Ford, just in case you could facilitate a trade for Eddie Ford. If it's an exchange of fourth-round picks or something like that, just to help him out.
It's a worry. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say on Tucker. It's a worry, because he should not be in our team ever again. I don't know what position we think he can play.
Well, I remember his last game.
Oh. That has to be the worst game a player has ever played. It was woeful. He played on, he was just tagging Rosie, and did a horrible job of tagging Rosie. That cost us the game, in my opinion. Like, if we had actually if we had played another player who gave 1% more than Tucker off the game, we probably would have won.
Yeah, no, I do remember that game. You said you're about to say you tagged Darcy Tucker. I think he tagged himself out of the game there.
Wow,
he was that bad.
He did, mate. He was horrible.
Yeah, but look, we'll have to wait and see what transpires there. Also, an All-Australian snub for our big ruckman, Tristan Sherry. Very stiff to not make this All-Australian squad, but fair enough, the All-Australian team. I think Max Gawn has had a really good year, and that's fair enough. But the All-Australian squad, I felt like he was a bit harsh there.
Yeah, look, a lot of North fans are going to disagree. There's been a lot of North fans talking about how he's easily the best ruckman in the game, how he was going to be the clear winner. If I'm trying to take the bias away, I love X and what he can do, and he does a lot of stuff at the contest. He doesn't do enough outside of the contest in terms of marks, goals, etc. Gawn makes it. Gawn is the ruckman for mine. And Grundy had an obscene 8-week period. Like, I know Sherry's been good, but he was doing stuff around the ground plus the ruck work. What I'm annoyed about, I'm not annoyed about those two making the squad ahead of him. I'm annoyed about Luke Jackson making the squad ahead of him.
Yeah, that's probably the one, isn't it?
That makes no sense to mine. Luke Jackson should not be the third ruck in that. Now, in the team, it'll be interesting to see what they do because Gawn probably makes it. There's probably a case for Grundy, but I would be going Gawn, just sole ruckman. I don't like two ruckman in the team. But if Sherry had made it, I don't have him again ahead of Gawn this year. That's not to say he can't go ahead of him. He had a fantastic year, tackles, clearance, absolute phenomenal player. Super coach points or fantasy points. He had 180 on the weekend. I mean, he's an absolute beast. But ultimately, Gawn does a lot of things around the ground. I think we forget about that. He's a fantastic contested mark. Grundy also gets around the ground, a lot of goal assists. So I'm not too concerned. I don't think that he should have necessarily have made the team, but the squad, that's rough. You can't put Luke Jackson in there. That makes absolutely no sense. Luke Jackson's a fantastic player. Don't get me. I'd love Luke Jackson. I think he's got the most upside of the young rucks in the comp. If Luke Jackson was the sole ruckman every Fremantle game and they weren't wasting their time on Sean Darcy, I think he would be the All-Australian ruckman because he's got good ruck craft, but he can play as a midfielder and he kicks goals. So I understand why he's in the team, but not ahead of Sherry. It is a real shame. It is a massive snub. He had to make the squad for mine. The other ones, obviously, a lot of people have been talking about Curtis. Missed a lot of games. That's the only thing I'll say. Obviously, he missed, was it 5 or 6 in the end?
I know he missed 4 through suspensions. Yeah.
Did he miss one? There was at least
he might have missed one through injury. I can't. I couldn't tell.
But he missed at least 4. Look, he finished with 38 goals. That's a really, really good effort. Should have been probably in the squad above maybe one of the others, but they also didn't give Higgins a look in, and I thought he was my pick as
that was surprising.
Yeah, that was my pick for the small forward role, and they didn't give him didn't get a look in. So he was a bit rough, and obviously the other one probably for North that was really rough. Just didn't, he needed to play 20 more games was Cooper Trembath.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Harry Sheezel then, but Cooper Trembath. Yeah, no, look, he kicks
Harry Sheezel's just he does. Harry Sheezel is a victim of not being played as a midfielder. Even on the weekend, it was back to 60% CBA. It was a bit more balanced than it had been the week before. I think someone threw out a stat the other day that when Sheezel plays more than 65% CBA as a midfielder, he averages something like 33 disposals and a goal.
It's all right.
Which is no one else in the comp. No one else in the comp does that. So, yeah. Not this year, but fantastic player, obviously.
Oh, definitely. Talking about Cooper Trembath.
Was rough not to make it last year. Sheezel should have made it last year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I guess it's a victim of playing in a poor team. That's what generally happens. You don't get many players recognised for All Australia. I don't put too much emphasis in it. I don't worry about it. I don't really care about it.
I don't rate the only award in AFL that I rate is the coaches' award.
Yeah.
Because they're the only ones who actually know what they're talking about. Everyone else is like the Brownlow is
Brownlow's is a midfielder's award.
Brownlow's rubbish, and the All Australian award is like Laura Kane and Kane Corns, and they're the most. did pretty well. Laura Kane's one of the most uneducated people in football, so.
Yeah, I agree with that. So she's getting paid a good packet to say what
yeah.
they wanted to say.
She's a spokesman, and they've split her role out into 3 people now. And Swanee and Tom Harley are running the show, and I don't know what she's doing, but anyway, it is what it is. I mean, Andrew Dillon's useless as well. I don't want to be someone having a go at a woman here. Andrew Dillon's equally incompetent.
Yeah, it's a boys' club there, Jesse. So that won't change. I mean, you look at all you have to do is look at the umpiring over this year, and I can't help but think I'm happy that we're not in finals because half of these games are going to get decided by bad umpiring decisions. And it's unfortunate for those teams that are going to, probably fall short by a couple of goals because umpires are swayed one way. Unfortunately, what Port Adelaide did to Gold Coast on the weekend, you can't help but feel that they were absolutely screwed. Unfortunately, Gold Coast, they're going to miss out on top 4 spot because of that. So,
yeah, they were absolutely. I mean, look, I'm torn on the fence in this. I like Gold Coast, and I want them to make. I want to see them in there because I think it'll be exciting. But I also acknowledge that they're the nepotism baby of the AFL. They've been gifted everything possible to make it, and their academy is just going to continuously feed them to be able to be good. Same as GWS. I mean, GWS haven't been bad since they were good. But since they were bad at their inception, I think they had 1 year under Cameron that was poor, and then they became instantly good again. So, but it would be nice. Yes, they got absolutely robbed by Port Adelaide. The umpires absolutely did them a number, and now they're going to play probably,
Fremantle
or Hawthorn. GWS. I think they're going to end up playing. Yeah, depends how much they win by over Essendon. Yeah. I mean, feel for the Dogs. They could have had a mad Monday today. Instead, they had to go and train.
Well, that's just part of it. I mean, they're realistic that they've got no hope of playing finals.
Essendon would have to pull an absolute miracle out. It's not going to happen. Surely it's not going to happen.
No, I'll give it 0% chance or close to it.
I mean, Gold Coast can choke, but yeah.
But at the end of the day, everyone knows Gold Coast got screwed. No one really cares because it's Gold Coast. That's just
that's exactly the thing. They doesn't have enough fans, so
and no one cares about them. And that's a harsh reality. Like even as GWS, when they played grand finals, no one really cared. So there's no market for these teams, unfortunately. But
that's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah. We'll get back on topic now. Pretty unlucky not to win the game over the weekend. I think we had 63 more disposals, 4 more inside 50s, 29 more contested possessions, 27 uncontested possessions, Jesse. But here's the stat that killed us. 57 turnovers to 48, 74 points to 34 from turnovers, and 7 goals transitioning the ball from defensive 50 to forward 50 for Adelaide. They're one of the worst transition teams in the competition. They seem to find their groove against us. And that's the ball game in a nutshell, isn't it?
Our turnover game is horrible. I'd love to see how many games this year we lost. What I mean by that is how many games did we lose ourselves as opposed to the opposition winning? Because look, a lot of North fans I think most North fans walked away from the game on the weekend glass half full because we got absolutely destroyed in the last 2 games last year. It was embarrassing. Like we packed up. Even against GWS, we were competitive up until late. Obviously, a good win last week against Richmond, and then the fact that we lost by 13 points, and it should have probably been a goal. I got no issue with Adelaide winning. Adelaide probably should have won, but it should have been a goal. There was that. A lot of people complain about the dodgy 50 that led to a goal at the end, but we got some absolute.
Yeah, before that for 5 minutes, we got everything.
We got absolute hatch for 5 minutes. So I'm happy. I'm just happy with the effort, to be honest. The fact that Adelaide got 30 odd points up on us, and we were able to then put 4 goals in a row effectively on them. I mean, that was incredible fight back. Now, you can talk about Adelaide taking their foot off the pedal, thinking about, bigger and better things. They had nothing to lose. They just finished second. They, really just do they play Brisbane or do they play, Collingwood? But we had to fight back, and we did fight back. It was a really good effort, I thought. It was probably on the back of making the sub and moving some players around and putting Core down back and putting Harvey up forward and some stuff that we really should have done from the start. That's okay. But look, I'm just really proud of the way we went out there. I thought it was a really solid effort. LDU could have had a fantastic game if he wasn't so sloppy with the ball. Sheasel had a really solid game. The forward line was great. I mean, the forward line has been, I have to say this, with no Larky there, the forward line has been really good. Like,
we've kicked 100 points 2 weeks in a row. We haven't done that for years.
And that's without our best forward, and Zerha, who's kicked 40 goals effectively. So, the fact 1 year ago, 2 years ago, imagine saying, "Oh, we're going to play a game without Zerha and Larky." We would have been crying. It would have been, we wouldn't have known what we're going to do. There's no way we would have scored. We would have scored like 20 points. So the fact that we were able to put a score on them was, really, really impressive. I think there was some really good players. I liked there were some roles in the team that I can see putting that picture together for next year that I really liked.
No, definitely. Now, I've been saying it for a while now that we kind of need an identity for next year. I mean, when we win games, our best quarters have been, we go back to our best quarters, round 2 against the Demons, that last quarter, and round 23 against Richmond. And they were on the back of midfield dominance. It's not sustainable, I believe, that sort of effort. I mean, you talk about teams transitioning the ball and kicking goals from their defensive 50 to forward 50. We're struggling with that. But we struggle to score from turnovers as well. We don't create enough pressure up the field. And that's been and that was a common thing that happened against Adelaide. We just don't create enough turnovers, and we don't score from the turnovers. But like that goal, I think it was Tex Walker, where he got one out the back. That should never happen. There should always be a defender back there. I don't know how we got out the back that easily. And that's something we've got to really work on, is just the transitioning of defending and forcing a turnover and being able to play a forward half game. We're pretty ordinary in the forward half this year as well, Jesse.
Oh, look, absolutely. If we're talking about pressure, I think that's a really interesting one. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5 players who didn't lay a tackle. Now, one of them was the sub, so that is what it is a little bit. But we do need to. I was happy with our pressure for big parts of the game, but it did drop off. And I think tackle wise, there was some great efforts. You had another 12 from Sherry, so he's laid 30 in 2 weeks. Wardlaw 9, you know what you're getting. Costanti, Parker, Curtis, a lot of tackles there. From a pressure act perspective, Wardlaw with 29 is obscene. I was okay with the pressure, but you are right. Our ability to turn the ball over and then score from it is non-existent. Like you said, our score origin is, our score sources is 66 points from stoppage, 34 points from turnover compared to 74.
And that's the game.
And it is the game. Absolutely, it's the game. I think the biggest one for me was, they scored 51 points from defensive half. And we scored 26.
And they're one of the worst teams in the competition. For that.
Like we outscored them from scores from centre bounce and from forward half, but we couldn't. But it's the defensive. So, look, I think the easiest way of saying this is going into next year. The biggest thing that needs to change is the defense, as in team defense needs some work. But I think the forward line lays tackles now. The forward line, there is nothing wrong with our forward line. Our forward line is good, and it lays tackles, it pressures. It's very easy to say we haven't improved, but if you look at us now versus 2 years ago, or even this time last year, it's hard to say we haven't improved a lot, in my opinion. The back line is still a rabble, but we would have spoken about it every week for 2 years. Please just give me a forward who tackles. Please. I think I got what I wanted, unfortunately. I think I asked for a year for a forward who just tackles, and he doesn't need to kick goals, just tackle. And I got one, and now I'm not happy with it. But now that I reflect, we wanted a forward line that could score. We wanted a forward line that could tackle. We've got all of that. Curtis, best tackler in the league from a forward perspective. We've got a very dangerous forward line. There's a lot of things that we are much better on, but we do have lapses. We turn the ball over too much, mostly coming out of the back end.
Yeah.
That says to me that the back line is the main problem. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on that back line. A lot of work. That needs to be the main focus now, because the forward line is complete in my mind. There is a small forward role we need to determine. But, for the most part, it's done. The midfield, I think we've seen the last few weeks what the pattern will be, which is Wardlaw, Sheasel, Wardlaw, Sheasel, LDU, Parker. And Parker you'll phase out over time to bring one of the others in. Powell and Simpkin playing purely outside roles, which, a lot of people have had some comments on that. I actually liked Simpkin's game on the weekend. I think he made
I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah,
he made a couple of mistakes.
Made a couple of mistakes, but yeah, I really liked his game on the weekend. That's just, I liked him as a winger. I didn't know if it was going to work or wasn't going to work or whatever, but he had 22 disposals, and he had the one goal assist.
No, he had 33, didn't he? Jai Simpkin.
Oh, sorry, no, 33 disposals. Yeah, apologies. 736 meters gained, I think it was.
Yeah.
Like, that's obscene. That's good numbers from a winger. So I think going into next year, I was struggling to see where he plays in our team. I was really struggling. I didn't know what to do with it. And I think I like him on the wing. So that's a role for me. Powell, I like Powell on the outside. Look, he's struggling with it a little bit, and understandably so. But he had 16 on the weekend. I thought, and I think he had a goal from memory. He stole. That's right. He stole one.
Yeah, he got the soccer goal from Trenbath free kick. So it could have been 4 goals.
Yeah, should have been 4 goals. But so there's some positional things that they're doing that I really like. Yeah, look, all in all, it's just the defense for mine that we need to do a lot of work on.
Yeah, well, we'll go. I'll talk about Tom Powell a little bit later because I want to get your thoughts on him, what the future holds for him. Now, let's get to some individuals and let's get your thoughts. Backline, and you talked about that. It's been a makeshift back 7 for a while now, probably since the second half of the year. Luke McDonald's been out, Riley Hardeman the last couple of weeks. A number of others. Common's missed certain weeks as well. Now, I like Common, but I'm not sold on the other 2 tools in Pink and in particular Logue. Your thoughts on them? Do we need upgrades on those 2 individuals?
Oh, absolutely we do. Absolutely we do. I think the problem is that Commonen is the best of our defenders, and I don't think he should be the main defender.
No, I think he's a good intercept player. Yeah,
that's like he on the weekend ideally would have been getting Taylor Walker.
Yeah.
So then he could play off him a little bit being older. You want him to play on the 3rd tall and then have 2 gorilla, or 2 or 1 depending on who you're playing. Gorilla, yeah, like Adelaide's unique where they've got 3 really big forwards, but I mean, Commonen was getting a bath on, Phil thought, well, he gave him a bath and then he ripped Logue apart. Oh, I think Logue did a better defensive job, as in one-on-one defensive job than Commonen did, but just neither of them was the right. We need someone who can take that big forward. We don't have that. So, yeah, the problem for me is I think we need desperately an upgrade on Pink. And I think the other thing is when Core went down back and we then had Core, Logue, Commonen, and then Commonen could then intercept, I think he had a better last. We looked better defensively. I'm not saying that we want 4 key defenders. We know what that does. But I think against Adelaide, it's probably the team you do want to try it against. And it probably worked. So we should have done that probably from the start. So, yeah, for mine, massive upgrades because there's no one. We got rid of Cal Dawson, so you're now relying purely on Will Dawson and what you decide to do with Whitlock. So, a lot of people are having a go at considering a Jake Lever type. I know we've ummed and ahed on it. I think we need to we need to get someone. The thing that worries me about him is what type of leadership does he bring? Ideally, you want to get someone who brings good leadership and, can. But I do think we need experience down there and we need someone while we're developing the kids. But
Yeah, the only thing with
Logue is not the answer. Logue is not the answer, and Core's definitely not the answer. Whether or not, I don't know what happens there, but in terms of Logue, I think we're trying to play him as the main defender as well, and I don't think he's the main defender. I just don't think we have a number one defender. Like,
no. We've tried Pink. He had a good purple patch. I think you've mentioned it. He had a good purple patch there for 4 or 5 weeks where he's really good. I couldn't concede a goal. And then, it's been pretty average in certain patches. I think he's a good depth player. I think we know who he is. He's 27 years old at the end of the day.
Oh, exactly.
Logue has his strengths. If the ball goes in long and high, and he'll kill a contest.
Absolutely.
He's pretty good at that. But asking him to be accountable on anyone, he doesn't want to. Yeah, he doesn't want to get within 6 meters, like almost COVID restrictions. Yeah, he doesn't want to get anywhere near an opponent.
No, you're absolutely right.
The thing with Lever, his play's similar to like a Logue and Pinky.
He does.
And that's the thing. You're just getting
he's
the
not
same.
One-on-one. He's not.
No.
Like he worked at Melbourne because you had May there as your main defender, or your McDonald, or your Petty, and then he could play off. So he's going to end up in the same problem at North, unless you want Comden to be playing the Lever role.
Yeah, and that's
meaning we need to go.
We've got enough of those options. Even Will Dawson is good. Looks like a good intercept player. Still struggling one-on-one.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We need people who are one-on-one defenders.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Look, I'd love to get a Markeen or something like that,
or a Wilkie.
Well, it could be a possibility. You never know.
There's not. I don't know if there's any money left at St Kilda. So it might be if we threw kitchen sink at him. He's a good defender. Should have been All-Australian squad. Comical that he didn't make the All-Australian squad.
Well, yeah, they're going getting to pay big money for Leek Alir, which is a big upside play, but it could fail too. So that's 900,000 for a player like that. That's a lot of money to throw around, but they can worry about that. So after 3 career goals, you weren't a fan of in 172 games. You weren't a fan of trying Aiden Core at full forward. Don't see that as a long-term future.
I'm trying to think over the last 3 or 4 years, what's the worst thing that I've seen us do? We've done some terrible things, but what is the worst thing? I wasn't a fan this year. If I look at this year's, I wasn't a fan of playing Whitlock as a defender with 4 other key defenders and then subbing him. Like, that was silly. This was probably the stupidest thing that Clarko has ever done.
Yeah,
like this was it was nonsensical. He didn't have a touch. I think he touched the ball once. As a forward.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, got a handball. I think. I can't remember now. So.
Yeah, like a cheap went. Like he didn't do anything. He just tagged Mark Keane. That's fantastic. I know Keane's been in some good form, but you got to offer. It was just. It made absolutely no sense to me. It was crazy.
Especially when you get Cooper Harvey come on and just have an impact straight away.
It was just crazy. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, one of the more baffling decisions. I heard about it during the week, and I thought, this is going to be interesting. And
what were we trying to achieve? Are we trying to I don't know what we were trying to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, I would have rather given Zane Duursma a crack. I spoke about this. A genuine forward. This is an opportunity. You're calling Jack Gunston a month ago in a press conference.
Yeah, give him a crack.
Playing like Jack Gunston for a week. See what he does. We don't know what his future's at.
No, or play Dawson or play someone in the team. It didn't make any sense to me.
He's got an obsession with trying defenders as key forwards, isn't he? Like he's tried to Griffin Logue there when he first came to the club. He's Aiden Core now. Will Dawson. So he's got an obsession with trying defenders as forwards. I don't know if he's trying to.
I'm not even going to dignify the conversation. It was the worst thing I've ever seen on a football field. It was just dumb.
We'll move forward then. The midfield now, the tightening of the midfield rotation the last couple of weeks it's been very impressive. Bit strange to sack the midfield coach after the last couple of weeks. The midfield has generally been okay. I think it's one of the least of our worries. Now, we smashed the closing clearances and scored 66 points from stoppages, which kept us in the game. LDU could have had another career game, but did some horrible turnovers, which hurt even even though he had 31 possessions, 12 clearances in the goal, but disposal efficiency, one of the worst on the ground, 61%. We talk about Simpkin on the wing, 33 touches, could be one of the best wingers in the competition. I think we found his position, like he said, looks unnatural on the wing. Tristan Sherry, outstanding. 25 disposals, 35 hit-outs, 12 tackles, a team high 9 scoring involvements, probably our best on ground.
Yeah.
It's coming along pretty well, isn't it, that midfield? And I don't know if we're going to get Winhager. I mean, we've got Luke Parker there. I bet he's getting a bit older. I think it could be a like-for-like replacement, getting a big body midfielder that might be able to help there. Will Phillips is gone. That's pretty evident. So, yeah, I mean, it's sort of coming together. We just need George Wardlaw to stay healthy as well, who was outstanding also.
Yeah, Wardlaw was fantastic. He has to be one of the starting midfielders. I think we're all accepting of that now. Because he doesn't need, I mean, you know, he had 18 disposals, but he doesn't need much more than that, to be honest. He 18 disposals, kicked a goal, I think, or had a shot on goal. I think he missed. But had 1 goal assist, 4 score involvement. His tackling he just adds so much pressure at the contest, and it allows LDU and Sheasel to get to work. The main one for me was, Parker had 78% CBA time. It's just too high. It's still too high.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is Luke Parker, 27 disposals, going at 81.5%, kicked a goal. And on top of that, he had 5 tackles. He's been amazing this year. He's done more than I thought he could. I think Sydney playing him on the outside for a year kept him refreshed. He is a fantastic player. Like he'll finish top 5 in our BNF, in my opinion.
I think he'll finish top 3, Jesse. Yeah, I've got top 3.
Like he's been a really, really good player. I've got no issue with him getting 78% game time, but next year you would want. Is he on a 3-year deal?
That's a good question.
I think it's a 3-year deal.
I think it is 3 years.
Yeah, so next year you'd be wanting him. I'm not got no issue with him playing every game next year, but you'd probably want 50-50. So Sheasel to probably go from 58% up to that 70%. Them swap would be good, and then Parker play a little bit more time forward. And then the year after probably drops down to 25% and probably play, keeps the same, but he's probably playing 50% of the games. If he can make it that far,
of course.
It's a big ask, but he's been fantastic this year. The midfield looks good. My main thing is still I would like to get something a bit different in there. I think we missed a trick this year not playing McKercher in there at all. I've said it enough times. O'Sullivan, a little bit more exposure would have been good. But overall, you can't complain about the midfield. They were really, really good. The midfield was really, really good. And the wing, look, as we said, I thought Simpkin probably had one of his better games this year. I thought he was really, pretty damaging in terms of what he was able to put out. Bailey Scott probably not so much on the wing. Tom Powell, look, I think he's still learning the outside. He looks much better on the half-back flank or the forward flank than he does playing on the wing, I've noticed. And I think that's just something that happens at North. But I like him on the outside because I just think his disposal is better than him playing in the midfield. Just hacks the ball out. Parker, Wardlaw, Sheasel, LDU looks a much better midfield to mine. So, but I do like Powell in the team. And the other one is Dylan Stephens, who, look, obviously had a really good game on the weekend, kicked 2 goals, had the 22 disposals. I'm probably not the best person.
18 in the first half, though, Jesse. So
yeah, I'm not the best person to talk about Dylan Stephens because I've publicly said that I'm not a massive fan, and that I think that he's not a player who we have in our final team when we're challenging. I think he's got a roof, and he's pretty close to it. That was one of his games; he goes above it. But if he can do that every week, I'll apologise, and I'll be happy for that. But he had a good game, but
Yeah, you don't think there's a high ceiling for him to go?
No, I would rather put the wing time into an O'Sullivan or someone that that there's a much higher ceiling. Yeah.
No, fair enough. Now, Tom Powell, you mentioned there. Now, a year left on his deal. Are you happy to see him as a small forward? That's where he's been playing the last couple of weeks. Didn't finish the year very strong. Or could he possibly be trade bait, Jesse? Because he might be a bit disgruntled not going out of that midfield.
Well,
He might not.
Well, that's the thing. He probably has some value, but I don't think we're getting a first round pick for him.
No.
It would probably be a early second.
What do we use him as a? Do we use him for a player like if you want Windhager? Do we say, all right, is that a fair trade? I don't know. They're both similar age. Windhager.
I would do that.
Yeah. So
I would do that. I think that's a win-win for both clubs. Look, I really rate Powell, and especially early in his career, he did some really, really good stuff, but he was much cleaner with it. And I just think that the last 2 years, the way they've been developing him as a midfielder, he's a bit gets the ball and just hacks it forward. I just think his best and his worst, they're still miles apart. So, but I do like him. I want him to stay. I just want him to work out as an outside player, ideally.
Oh, there's a lot of class about him. There's no doubt about that. I'm just trying to find his best position. Is it as a small forward? I'm not too sure. I don't know if he wants. I don't think he wants that, Jesse.
I think he's a winger or flanker.
I agree. I don't think he's, as far as this team goes, we back deep in the midfield. You got Wardlaw, Sheasel. We talked about Parker. Sherry plays as another strong midfielder. LDU. I don't think he's best. We want to develop maybe Finn O'Sullivan there as well, maybe McKercher. But maybe he sees himself as a midfielder and he might think, well, there's better opportunities elsewhere, so maybe I'll look there instead of playing in the forward pocket.
He might, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see. That's just me speculating and I could be talking shit, but we'll see. Now, Cooper Harvey was a sub and had a good impact when he came on. Did that freakish handball for a goal assist. I find it hard to believe they wouldn't offer this guy a 1-year deal, Jesse. I know we talked a little bit about this off air. We have a lot of forwards of his similar ilk, but still, I think there's a player here, and he could even play on a wing as well. Like, he's very proactive. I love the way he goes about his football.
1 goal, 1. 1 goal, 1. I mean, he could have easily kicked that second one. It was a long ball. But yeah, 1 goal, 1. Had the 6 disposals after he came on. Should have played from the start. We've seen the best of him. The Melbourne game, his leading patterns are fantastic. As I said before, the main thing for me is that the forward line construct, he's very similar to Curtis. If you look at it, it's probably Larkey, Trembath now, Darling for the moment, if you want to go 3 talls, and then you're going Zurhaar, Curtis.
And you got a small forward.
Like you add Harvey to that, you're going no genuine smalls. I don't think that's going to work, meaning that you could, a Darling drifts out of the team, you go the 2 talls in a Trembath and a Larkey, and then you play Zurhaar, Curtis, Harvey, and then a genuine small. That would probably work. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried about is that they're trying to work out how he plays in the team along with everyone else.
He's still a handy depth player too. So.
Well, that's the thing, absolutely. But we've got 2 players who almost kicked 40 goals this year. So
I see your point. Yeah.
Yeah. I really rate him. I've always said that I wanted him in the team much earlier, and I think the games that he played were really, really positive. I just think that that's probably what's in the back of the selectors' minds. But I'm hoping they give him another year and they give him some opportunity. Because while Darling went beyond expectations for me this year, he shouldn't play every game next year. It should be 50% of the games.
Yeah, would he be 34 next year or close to that? I think he's 33 now. So
I'd be giving him half the games at most, and then it's just up to them whether or not they want to play 3 tall forwards or not.
I think they would have been happy if they got 18 months out of Jack Darling when they initially got him.
I agree.
If you can get that, I think at his age and with how much wear and tear he's got in his body, I think they would have taken that. So, yeah, look, I'd still be offering him a 1-year deal. And one player that probably should have got more than 1 year, and that's Cooper Trembath. Only a 1-year extension, Jesse. Are you surprising the teams are going to come halfway through next year, offer him $7-8 million money?
Well, if he keeps going the way he's going, kicking 3 goals a week, he might kick, 60 goals next year, 70 goals. He's a real talent. In all seriousness, I don't know what else I'm meant to say about him. He was rated on field as our 4th best player on field.
Well,
If you go by champion data, then he was our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th best player on field. But that's still ridiculously good. I mean, he had the 11 disposals, was clean when he had it. Obviously kicked, the 3 goals, 2 behinds. Should have had 4 goals and 2 behinds.
but one he took off Curtis, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is true.
So it balances out a little bit.
And he had 3 tackles. He loves a tackle. He loves a little chase. That tackle on the goal line was absolutely superb. He didn't give it up. Some players would have just pushed them over, accepted it's going to be behind. Not for my man Trembath. He lays into him, holding the ball. He's a good player. 3 contested marks. That's the knock on Larky, is that he's not a contested marker, and Jack Darling's not a contested marker. We haven't had a contesting market forward for a while. Probably Jared Waite, maybe.
Yeah,
because Ben Brown wasn't a contested
Drew
marker. He was
Petrie,
much more like Larky. Drew Petrie. So I'm really excited to see him and Larky in the team with each other next year. You've got 2 very different players to one another. He's going to play deeper to goal, big contested mark and square, but allows Larky to do the running patterns and running out. So I'm really excited to see the 2 of them get a game alongside each other. You kick 9 goals in 3 weeks in your first 3 games. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's exceeded everyone's expectations.
I think it exceeded Clarko's expectations. I don't think in his wildest dreams he would have been hoping to get 9 goals out of him in 3 weeks. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. A massive shining light for the year. My shining light for the year, because we were crying out for, who is that forward coming through once Darling goes away, who can play that position. We didn't have that second, and he is the second. So that's it's beyond any expectation we had. When they picked him over Whitlock against the Giants, I thought, did we really want to do that? He's raw, he's coming through, and he's made just incredible. Might be my favourite player on the list, to be honest.
Well, great bit of recruiting by Will Thursfield there, who's been tracking him for a long time. So, yeah.
It's just incredible, isn't it? It's an incredible journey. It's just, incredible. I love him. He's my favourite. He's my favourite player. I just love how he goes about it. Big smile on his face, nice pressure, kicks the goals. I'm a big fan, and I would have given him more than a year. I'm not saying we give him a 10-year deal, obviously, but at least
2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
2 years. Surely there's enough upside there to give him 2 years. A bit weird that we didn't give him more than 1. I was hearing that the manager was pushing for 2, and we were pushing for 1. It just seems odd. Seems very, very odd.
Yeah, if I've been his manager, and I've seen it with Eddie Ford last year, who only decided was having a good year last year, thought I'll just go the 1-year extension, and look at him now. His career's in limbo after being delisted today. You've got to look after yourself at the end of the day. There's surely going to be another club out there. All right, we'll give you 2 years.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. If someone goes absolutely crazy and he shows some real signs next year, and someone goes mad trying to recruit him, we're going to look very stupid. Yeah. So hopefully,
we'll wait and see. But at least he's there for another year anyway. And if he starts off well, they'll be getting 3-4 years. You'll be getting
put another year in. You'd put another year into him early in the year. They'll probably say that to him and say, we're prepared to give you a longer deal if you start the year off well. Have a big preseason.
Oh, definitely. But that only makes sense at the end of the day for him and the club. Zach Banch, looks like he will get another year as well. Happy with that and happy with what you've seen from him?
Yeah, look, Banch is a really interesting one for me because there's some things that he does that I like. You got to be mindful. He got some limited games.
Yeah.
What I feel for him is how the bloody... Well, you got Trembath, you got Darling, you got, players running around on the weekend. Why is he the key forward? They did the same
for a 5-minute period there. They just targeted him. I thought he was Wayne Carey playing.
Yeah, they thought he was Wayne Carey. They just kept going to him. The same as the Cats game. They just kept kicking to him. I feel for him. He shouldn't. Yeah. Why are you doing that to the poor guy? But look, he had the 9 disposals, but I think you've got to. He had the 2 tackles, 10 pressure acts. Obviously kicked a goal. You want to see more from him, absolutely. But I think it's worth persisting. I'm happy to give him an extra year. I'm happy to give him an extra year, see what he can turn into. If he can, I'm happy to give him another year because small forwards, it's a hard game. It's a hard role. I think that and wing are probably two of the hardest roles for a player to learn in the AFL system. So I'm happy to give him some time to grow and see what he can do because he's got some good pace. He finds the ball pretty well. I'm happy to invest in him for another year and see what he can do. That position's still up for grabs.
Oh, the small forward definitely is. Costanti is no certainty to be in a round one team next year. He kicked one goal. He kicked one goal in his last nine games for a small forward. That's not good enough. I know he did some defensive roles on halfback flankers, Lockie Ashley.
I don't care what he did defensive. He cost us the game on the
weekend. I know. I'm trying to defend him a little bit.
He cost us the game.
Yeah, those couple misses.
They were just easy misses. You can't be missing those. You just can't be doing it. Frustrating.
I noticed on they did an excerpt on Fox Footy that they went straight to Clarko after he missed that snapshot from about 10 metres out, and he was shaking his head. So, it is.
Well, he's the one who played him every game.
Yeah, well, that's right. He played every game this year, which is a bit of a surprise.
Because, how many disposals did he have? He had 14, but he went at 42%.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
No, it's not. 3 behind, 5 tackles is good, but ultimately,
he plays a role. Obviously, they deem it as good enough, but it's just the upside with Costanti. I don't think. I don't see it. I don't think it's that much higher than what it is.
No, people. That's the thing. Banch, there's some unknown.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if Banch can become I don't know if Banch can do it. I don't know if Banch can do it, but I'm happy to give Banch a crack to see if he can. I'm happy to give him a go and see what he can do. With Constanti, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I was happy to get him for what we got him for. I was happy for him to play some games. He's played some really good defensive roles at times, but ultimately, I don't see the ceiling there.
No, I don't. I don't see it much higher than it is, to be honest with you. So I don't think he's going to be a 45 goal next year, or anything like that. But it's definitely a role that warrants a lot of discussion. That's for sure. Geordie Payne, only 2 possessions till he got subbed out. A lot of people are saying he could be in a bit of trouble to keep his a list spot. We do have a lot of forwards, Jesse. We've already mentioned that. Still got Braden George to come back in. It's touch and go whether he keeps his spot for next year, isn't it?
He does. He got into the team late. We were questioning heavily why he wasn't getting a game. They got him in. He kicked, 2 goals last week and a goal the week before?
He's kicked 3 in 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, he's kicked 3 in 3 weeks. So he's looked pretty good, but he looked off the pace on the weekend. He looks a bit slow.
Yeah, he's not overly quick, no. He's not.
No, which was meant to be one of his things, is that he was a quick player. And he was a high tackle player in the VFL. He's not laying tackles. I don't know if that's because he's worrying too much on being an offensive player, but I'm happy. If he came in and laid 10 tackles, I'd be fine if he didn't get touches because Costanti does it. At least then we see, does he have an ability to be offensive, defensive? So, yeah, for mine, it does look like it's going to come down to who they re-sign, how many players they think they're going to bring in, who they trade in, all of that stuff. But yeah, he could be one who's on the outer, unfortunately.
We've still got a few list spots to get rid of, and he's definitely, his name has been mentioned. I doubt we get rid of Cooper Harvey. Apparently, we're going to re-sign CCJ for another year, which makes zero sense at the moment. I mean, you got the emergence of Taylor Goad in the reserves. Cooper Trenbath, we've already talked about. Finbar Malley, I'm not even too sure where his position is at the moment, but he could be in trouble too.
I think Finbar's gone.
He
played a lot of. He got a fair bit of game time, so they must have rated him. But yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame. So, look, and there's obviously trade period. There's rumours circulating that Zane Dersma wants opportunities elsewhere, but we don't know that for sure.
Yeah, but are they just rumours though? Like who's coming up with those ones? I'm not hearing anything that seems substantial.
Yeah, that's not concrete. No.
No.
Unless you hear it from the player or the player's agent saying, I want to trade, then yeah.
And I haven't heard that. So
yeah, it would be interesting to see what he wants to do. But look, if the right offer came along, would you be opposed to trading him? I know we spent pick 3 or 4 to get him.
What's the right? Oh God, what's the right offer? What would you take?
Well, let's say Securta said, all right, well, Windhager, you take him. We want Zane Dersma. Would you do that?
No.
Yeah. You think there's more upside than... Yeah.
Oh, there has to be. With the pick 3, there has to be.
But can you get a game in that forward line, though, Jesse, next year?
No.
That's the problem. We've drafted so many forwards, and he's... Yeah.
He has to play a different position. He has to be a winger, or he has to be a winger. He has to learn to be a winger like his brother.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to do that.
No.
Yeah, and so if there might be other clubs that are looking for a 450 player. Look,
what would you give up from a draft capital perspective? Oh, what would you take from a draft capital perspective? I'm less worried about players. Like I'd be open to him for Windhager plus something, which St Kilda's not going to do, but you could probably sell me on a straight swap. I think I'd hate it initially. You could probably sell me in the medium term, but in terms of draft capital, what would you take? If someone said,
if Essendon wanted him, like he wants to go play with his brother, I'd want a future first from Essendon because
they got 2 first rounders this year.
I don't want any picks this year. This year's the draft shit. Next year's supposed to be better. If you can get a future first from Essendon next year, you're going to be a bottom 6 team.
I think the problem with next year is, and again, take this with a grain of salt because we don't know what the rules are going to be around father-son. But I know Essendon's got a father-son.
Yeah,
Buick, who's meant to be an absolute freak.
He is,
like Dacos, Ashcroft level, meant to be an absolute superstar. He's coming through, so they're going to get screwed.
It sounds like they are, yeah. Which would be. Yeah. I think if you're going to bring that rule in, you got to give it at least 3 years.
So absolutely.
2028, not next year.
People plan around this, but that's right. I think, I'm on the fence with father-son because it is very luck-based. But I mean, ultimately, I think they're too cheap. You should have to pay much, much more. Like a day cost shouldn't be all these points. You should have to pay a future first.
A premium. Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, they just need to make it. Yeah, I don't want to protect the top 10 or something. Just make it really expensive, like more expensive than if you had just taken him with pick 2. Say you want this player, you got to pay a premium. Pick 2 plus something.
Yeah. What about yourself? On the Zane Dersma question, what would you be happy with? Let's say Essendon's a suitor.
Well, what Essendon at the moment, with no things changing, has what pick 4 and 5? 4 and 6,
6
or
4 or 7. Yeah, something like
that.
Just cut your losses and try and get their pick 7.
I probably would. I probably would. I know people are going to say that's crazy, but I think there's a lot of talent there. I just don't know where the best position in our team is.
Yeah, he's not going to get
I would take it and then go for whatever key position defender is coming through the draft, or whatever defender. I would throw it at a defender. If they don't come on, then you're worse off than if Dersma hadn't come on.
No, that's true. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think his value is going to be a lot worse in 12 months' time than it is now. Because if he's going to be in and out of the team again, when people say, "Well, he's out of contract," he can go.
And it would probably make sense for him to go to Essendon because I think he was good friends with Caddy as well. And they got rid of Stringer. They've got Laverty, who's obviously injured a lot. They probably need to re-energise that forward line a little bit, around Caddy and Kakao. Obviously, they've got young Archer May as well. So I think it would make a lot more sense. But it would be what we're prepared to take. I'm not taking an Elijah Sardis, for example.
If he's a throw-in, you might be able to take it. But if he's
Well,
the
he's
premium
in-
asset, no, you can't get a game at Essendon. You're not getting a game at North as a winger.
Well, he's kind of in the same boat. I think he's got talent. I think he's a good player. I think he could be a good player
Yeah,
if
he's
he was
not
given
bad.
opportunity. But just Brad Scott doesn't like him for whatever reason. He's the Mason Wood of Essendon a little bit, but he might be a good player on a wing. Like we could play him on a wing or something like that. But yeah, I want picks for defenders probably.
No, we'll wait and see how that goes over the next few weeks. All right, Jesse. Now I'm going to ask you for just a couple. A best and fairest winner?
Probably Tristan Cherry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Tristan has to win it by, even with his injuries and that. I think he wins it by a fair way. Yeah.
I'd probably have Sheasel, Parker, LDU in the next three. In the next probably top four, and that's probably
Larky.
yeah.
I mean, you got to remember that both Zerha and Curtis kicked 38 goals, and they missed. How many games did Zerha miss in the end? 3, 4. They probably missed. Yeah, so they missed 3 or 4 games each. They almost kicked 40 goals. They would have kicked over 40 goals had they played those, which would have been a really good turnaround. You're kicking 2 goals a game in North Melbourne. That's pretty good. And then Larky obviously kicked 50 odd goals.
Well, actually, Zerha only missed the last game, didn't he? He got. He got
injured. Yeah. But still, I mean, nevertheless, him and Curtis and Larky probably all had good years. I think they'll be in the top 10. There shouldn't be a defender anywhere near the top 10.
I can't.
McKercher probably comes late with some good games.
Right.
McKercher probably comes late, but that's probably it from a defensive perspective. I can't think of any other defenders getting near it at all.
What about most improved player this year? I've gone Toby Pink. Only because he probably exceeded expectations by playing the amount of games he did. I mean, maybe Dylan Stevens as well.
Pink's a good shout. It's a hard one because obviously Curtis had a breakout year, but you probably saw it coming. I can't say Trembath, can I? Because he didn't play.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, that's probably fair enough. I mean, considering he came in second half of the year, he came in for the last few weeks and dominated. So
if I can't pick him, I'm going to go Curtis because he probably exceeded my expectations. I thought he was going to have a good year. I think, he plays those extra 4 games and he probably kicks 45, nearly 50 goals.
Yeah.
And he led the comp for tackles for small forward.
Yeah, inside forward 50. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and quite comfortably as well.
Almost the best record of all time, I think. It came second, I think, on the most ever.
Yeah.
From a small forward, after a really good player from memory.
I can't remember.
I saw a stat going around,
Yeah, no, but...
so probably Curtis for mine.
No, that's a good shout. And best first-year player, I've gone Finn O'Sullivan. There's not much to choose from.
What options we got? Finn O'Sullivan, Trembath, Danch, Whitlock.
Yeah.
O'Sullivan, it probably has to be O'Sullivan on body of work, but Trembath, 9 goals in 3 weeks. I mean, that's pretty crazy. If he doesn't get the Rising Star nom this week, I'm going to...
Yeah, don't know. I don't expect us to get much, to be honest. We don't seem to get much with anything. Snubbed in All Australian, no players. Under 22, no players. Yes.
Well, Sheets made it, but Curtis didn't make it.
Poor Curtis it's criminal, but I don't worry about that too much. Jesse, any final thoughts before I let you go?
No, mate. I think we covered it mostly pretty positive. Just a lot to do in the defense.
Yeah, that's right. I've got to work on that back 7 and the team defense as well. Is something that the club and the coaches really have to work hard on next year. So we'll see what happens with Michael Barlow. I didn't actually mention that. Michael Barlow looks like he's going to get a promotion to midfield coach, and that means that what we're hearing is that Mark Williams is going to come as a development coach. Obviously, has done some good work at Melbourne there for a number of years. Former Port Adelaide Premiership coach. So you're happy with that? If that sort of
I love
happens?
Choco. I wanted him to go for the senior job when we had vacancy.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Yeah, I would have loved him if we didn't get Clarko. So yeah, I'd be rapt to get him into the club. Absolutely, I absolutely love it. So it'd be good for him to come in, take that lead development role. Barlow moves into a coaching role, more formal coaching role. Obviously, Carney has moved on, so we need to find someone else in the development team. And then, you're hearing rumors about Simpson. I don't know what they would get. Like, I don't know what role they'd play. I'd love Simpson or Horse. Absolutely, don't get me wrong. I'd absolutely love them, but I don't know what position or what role they would play.
No.
But Choco, I love it.
Yeah, Mark Williams would be.
And I think Barlow, I like Barlow. You see Clarko talking to Barlow a lot on the field. I reckon he rates him as well. Sees him as a bit of a, we've got Ralph Clark, who obviously did the Indigenous team,
Xavier,
the brothers.
They were brothers. Yeah.
Xavier, who who's highly touted as well, like very much rated. So we've got a few there, but I wouldn't be surprised in 2 or 3 years' time if dare I say it, succession plan.
Well, it could be a strong possibility. That's for sure. We'll worry about next year anyway. And I think Michael Barlow is the type of person that could probably come up with a system, a team defense system. That's what we're certainly hoping. He did some really good things with Werribee as far as working out structures and team defense with them. So I think this could be the role for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see anyway. So we'll find out more over the next few weeks. Well, Jesse, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I really appreciate you coming on throughout the course of the year. Hasn't always been easy, Jesse. It's been quite tough. Even on moments tonight, talking about Aidan Corr as a full forward was quite tough. But you managed to stay the course. I really appreciate you coming on each week or most weeks. Thanks so much for that. And, I'm sure I'll chat to you in the coming weeks when we do have more news.
No, thank you very much, mate. And one last one for me, Jazzy Garner, where are we?
6 goals. Once you get 30 touches, she might even get a vote.
Might get a vote.
She was completely dominant. But they dominate for fun, those girls. Light work for them. And I'll talk more about them on Thursday. Well, Jesse, once again, thanks for coming on. I'll chat to you soon.
Thank you.
No, and thank you to all your lovely listeners as well. Don't forget, like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all that fun stuff to help the show grow. I'll be back on Thursday to review and preview the girls' game coming up on Saturday or Sunday, I believe it is actually, in Fremantle. So look out for that. Until then, bye for now and go Roos.